are Namba Mite, my graduate student who's now moved on to Cornell, Mohit Randeria, who's in the audience, and Chris Svoboda, who's now joining this effort. And Namba, I should really credit him for bringing this mystery of D4 magnetism to my attention and being the main driver behind this work. Okay, so as someone who's cut their teeth on cuprates, and we heard a bit about this problem this morning, the first thing that hits you when you go to these 4D and 5D oxides is the level of complexity. And somehow as a theorist you have to try to make sense of this complexity. So, you know, from the cuprate world we are used to a single orbital, a single electron in that orbital, correlation U, and that's not to say that the problem is still solvable, but at least it is stateable in a simple way. And the phenomena that emerge from that are nevertheless very profound and very complex, you know, breaking three major paradigms in our field. So that's all very beautiful physics that comes out. And now when we look at 4D and 5D material, we should use a different, okay. So when we look at these 4D and 5D oxides, first of all, there are multi-orbitals, and even at the atomic level, we have to contend with different occupancies of these orbitals, intra-orbital repulsion, inter-orbital U prime, which can also be written in terms of a Hund's coupling that that favors parallel alignment of the spins, and then there is spin-orbit coupling. There are all of these parameters to deal with, and then when we put these atoms into a crystal, we now have to look at different structures. The hopping can become a matrix because it describes different orbital connections leading to some bandwidth, and it doesn't end there. There are distortions of these octahedra, elongation, rotation, tilting, all of this. And the question is, how do we sort all of this out? So it's useful to go to the energy scales, and in the case of the 4D and 5D, the crucial thing is that U and the crystal field splitting between the lower energy P2G and EG and the higher energy EG sectors and the spin orbit coupling are all of broadly equal importance, and that is why you know, there are many competing phenomena that come in. There's no way to separate these scales and organize the spectrum. The other important piece to keep in mind is the Hund's coupling, which is about 20% of U, and this will become important in what I have to say. And furthermore, the crystal field and U are greater than the Hund's coupling. So that gives us a way to essentially look at just the low spin sector, and that means these d orbitals we can project onto the T2G sector, which essentially gives us an angular momentum equal to -1. It's like effectively p orbitals. And along now, if I add to this the spin orbit coupling, then it breaks up into a J3 half sector and a J half sector. So this is roughly how, you know, you all know this, but this is roughly how we are starting to organize the energy scales. And the questions before us are, of course, what kinds of phenomena can one now find in this in these 4D and 5D offsites. So people have looked at various fillings, starting with the work of Valence in the audience, with having 1 and 2 electrons in these d orbitals. D3 is something that we ourselves also looked at, finding interesting magnetism in some of these double perovskites, and a newly fabricated compound that came out from our group that has ruthenium in the trivalent valency, but on a honeycomb lattice. And then D5 is something we have heard a lot more about, and we'll continue to hear about that. So just a very quick digression, I want to just tell you about this D3 double perovskite.
Well, I can see 90% theory, but still, I'm happy to have this large number of audience here. And during this week, I never missed any talk. I listened to all the talk, and I really enjoyed all the talk. In particular, I was impressed by high quality talk by youngsters. This conference emphasizes this kind of youngsters, and I really enjoyed the talk by youngsters. And I felt this community could be sustainable. Okay, and taking this opportunity, let me review what I learned, this conference. And I put, bias because I want to put 30%, my own kind of works, within the review. That's why I say bias. So, chiefly, I'm not native speaker, so I checked, what Nobel state means, and in the dictionary, I found the full definition of Nobel, new and not, leaving something informally known and used. Original or striking, especially in conception or style. Good. Okay. Now we know what we are looking for. And of course, this conference emphasizes spin orbit company. And we are talking about material with relatively strong spin orbit company. Okay. This axis, here. And perhaps, all the talks, could be divided into 3 categories. Some have weak limit. And the second one is kind of intermediate view, on the border between, metal and insulator. And strong yield limit, kind of spin orbital physics, here. And in a weak limit, of course, nobody can insulator kind of well, known. And the concept of biosemimetal, fermiarc, topological Dirac, topological crystalline insulator, topological crystalline metal, myelopheromone, those are kind of discussed. And the intermediate reason, we discussed magnetic biosemimetal, topological Bott insulator, correlated topological insulator. And strong yield limit is kind of typical quantum magnitude. And we started, spin orbit assisted mode, state, superconductivity up to 2D J1 half, Heisenberg, type spin limit, conventional spin limit, D4 magnetic. And those, concepts are kind of proposed by theorists. And actually, many of theories, you kind of propose something realistic. And the material side, we try to, realize, what theorists, propose. I have some mixed feelings, about saying so. But anyway, in weak, U limit, I think, because of weak prediction is quite quantitative, and somehow, we can see what predicted exactly. And in fact, this conference we saw ratio
discovery of those exotic things. But going to stroke new limits with the Kurumi story different. And but still the most state Susan Heisenberg they are quite well identified. But those things not established yet. Of course we see kind of an effort to confirm those experimentally, but not yet. And perhaps because of Kurumi, it's not very difficult for you theories to make concrete statement or concrete prediction. And in internet info, I suspect the situation is even worse. And we have some indication of a biothermometric state in Pyrochlora, but others we don't see anything like that.